Welcome to a riveting exploration of one of history's most shocking tales of ambition, betrayal, and divine justice. How often have we heard of rulers who, in their quest for power, forget the very principles that sustain their realms? Today, we delve into the untold story of King Zabad, whose notorious and graphic demise stands as a grim testament to the consequences of ignoring sacred decrees and human morality. Unraveling this ancient scriptural narrative, we'll witness how hidden treachery and the wheels of divine justice brought down a powerful king, unraveling the threads of his kingdom and character. Imagine a time where every decision carried the weight of the kingdom's fate, and each mistake could lead to outrage and retribution. King Zabad's fall paints a vivid tapestry of human error and cosmic justice, echoing timeless lessons that still resonate in our world today. As we journey through this tale, I encourage you to ponder the motives and choices that led to his unforgettable end. As we delve into the context of King Zabad's rule, we are transported back to the ancient kingdom of Maresha, a realm that stood as a beacon of architectural and cultural brilliance. Maresha, located in a region flourishing with trade routes, was not merely a hub of economic prosperity, but a melting pot of diverse beliefs and traditions. The kingdom's society was intricately structured, with the royal court and religious institutions playing pivotal roles in governance and daily life. At the heart of Maresha lay the majestic royal palace, a symbol of power, where King Zabad orchestrated his rule. Adjoining the palace was the revered Temple of El, a sanctuary that was central to the spiritual life of the citizens. The temple, shrouded in mystique, was believed to be the dwelling of divine wisdom. It was here that pivotal events took place, where leaders and prophets would convene, bringing forth decisions that impacted the entire kingdom. Understanding this setting is vital, as it framed the dramatic and turbulent events that led to King Zabad's notorious demise. The convergence of cultural richness and political intrigue set the stage for a tale that resonates through history as a profound narrative of ambition and fate. In the heart of Maresha stood the royal palace, a symbol of King Zabad's power and ambition. This grand structure was not just a residence, but a testament to the opulence and authority he wielded. The palace's towering pillars and intricate stone carvings spoke of a kingdom steeped in history and tradition. It was here that King Zabad met with his advisors, plotted alliances, and made decisions that would shape the destiny of his people. Nearby, the Temple of El commanded respect with its ancient presence. Serving as the spiritual center of Maresha, the temple was more than a place of worship. It was where divine oracles and sacred rites were practiced. The walls of this revered site echoed with chants and prayers, a constant reminder of the gods' ever-watchful gaze. These locations were not just settings, but active participants in Zabad's narrative, witnessing his rise and contributing to the drama of his fall. The vivid life of the palace halls contrasted sharply with the solemnity of the temple, reflecting the tension between temporal power and divine decree that would eventually play a crucial role in the king's tragic end. King Zabad's ascent to power, a tale woven with cunning and ambition. Initially, Zabad was a man of humble origins, yet endowed with remarkable intelligence and an unyielding determination. His early years were marked by an unwavering pursuit of knowledge and strategic alliances that paved his path to prominence. Zabad's charisma and persuasive ability caught the attention of influential figures, allowing him to gradually climb the political ladder within the kingdom of Maresha. His reign was born out of not only his political acumen, but also the opportunistic circumstances that surrounded the kingdom during a period of transition. Seizing the moment, Zabad capitalized on the weaknesses of others, deftly maneuvering through court intrigue and winning the favor of key power brokers. His leadership style was authoritative, often marked by decisive actions that consolidated his rule. Zabad's initial achievements included reforming policies that boosted the kingdom's prosperity, creating a semblance of stability and order that bolstered his popularity among the populace. His story of rise serves as a significant reminder of how ambition, when paired with timely decisiveness and strategic alliances, can propel even the seemingly unlikely individuals to the throne. At the heart of King Zabad's reign were the strategic alliances and formidable adversaries that defined his rule and fueled his ambitions. His rise was not a solitary endeavor, but one intricately woven with the support and conflicts he encountered. Zabad was a master tactician, forming alliances with influential regional leaders who bolstered his power base. These alliances were crucial in extending his influence across neighboring territories, allowing him to command respect and authority beyond his immediate kingdom. However, Zabad's ambitions also cast a long shadow, attracting adversaries who viewed his growing power with suspicion. Many of these foes were once allies turned rivals, who saw his aspirations as a threat to their own domains. This dynamic created a fragile balance of power, constantly teetering on the edge of conflict. Zabad's reign, therefore, was a delicate dance of diplomacy and defiance. As he navigated the complex web of loyalty and rivalry that surrounded him, his ability to maintain these relationships was both his greatest strength and potential downfall, as each alliance held the dual potential to fortify or unravel his kingdom. At the height of King Zabad's reign, whispers of foreboding surrounded him. Prophetic warnings from revered figures began to circulate, casting shadows over his glistening throne. Many of these prophecies, chronicled through ancient texts, hinted at a dramatic shift in power, one that would upend the very foundation of his rule. Among the most chilling were tales of dreams and visions experienced by those close to the divine, foretelling Zabad's dramatic downfall through a consequence of his unchecked ambitions. The divine messengers spoke of crossroad moments, where Zabad's decisions could either secure his legacy or lead to his irrevocable ruin. The ancient seers conveyed messages of caution to the king, urging moderation and repentance, yet the allure of power seemed to engulf Zabad's ability to heed such warnings. This recurring theme of ignored signs highlights the profound risk inherent in ignoring the wisdom of those who speak for the divine. His story serves as a stark reminder of the human tendency to overlook guidance in favor of ambition, setting the stage for his tragic fall from grace. The journey to Zabad's downfall began with a singular event that forever altered the trajectory of his reign. In a critical moment, King Zabad committed a grave sin that would lead to dire consequences for him and the kingdom of Maresha. This sin involved betraying a sacred covenant that had been a long-standing foundation for his kingdom's prosperity and stability. The covenant was not just a political agreement, but a spiritual pledge as well, deeply entwined with the faith and tradition of the people he ruled. King Zabad, driven by ambition and the tantalizing allure of power, made a decision that violated this covenant, choosing short-term gain over long-term commitment to divine principles. The repercussions of this act rippled through Maresha, shaking the very core of its spiritual and social structures. Initially, there was disbelief among the populace, as they struggled to reconcile their king's actions with his previously maintained image of integrity. The initial shock soon morphed into unrest as religious leaders and common folk alike began voicing their discontent, sensing the perilous implications of his betrayal. Zabad's sin was seen as a direct affront to their faith, which demanded accountability only in the eyes of the people, but also under divine judgment. As tension rose, whispers of rebellion began to surface, threatening to dismantle the relative peace that had characterized Zabad's earlier reign. It was clear that the consequences of his betrayal extended beyond the immediate political fallout and signaled a deeper moral crisis, one that called into question the very heart of leadership and trust. As news of King Zabad's grave betrayal spread throughout the kingdom of Maresha, a wave of shock and dismay swept over the populace. The sacred covenant he had broken was one held in utmost reverence, a foundation of trust between the ruler and the divine. The public's reaction was immediate and intense, with whispers of discontent quickly growing into a roar of unrest. Citizens who once praised Zabad's accomplishments now looked upon him with disdain, as the realization of his actions cast a shadow over the very core of their societal beliefs. Religious figures, too, were not silent. The priests of the Temple of El, guardians of ancient wisdom and spiritual authority, were particularly vocal. They viewed Zabad's actions as not only a political blunder, but a spiritual crisis, one that threatened the divine favor once believed to have been bestowed upon the kingdom. Their sermons reflected a deep sense of betrayal, painting Zabad's sin as an affront to both humanity and the gods. The tension within the society became palpable as people debated the future under a ruler who had compromised their sacred values. This mounting unrest manifested in various ways, from public demonstrations to quieter forms of disobedience, each act a testament to the profound disillusionment felt by the citizens. The corridors of power buzzed with anxiety as courtiers and officials scrambled to distance themselves from the king's actions. The public discourse, rich with moral outrage, shifted the narrative from a mere violation of a kingly duty to a larger question of moral decay at the heart of leadership. Zabad's transgression became a catalyst for an unprecedented dialogue on governance, faith, and the ethical responsibilities of those in power. The decree that sealed King Zabad's fate reverberates through the ancient scriptures as a potent message of divine justice, a concept that shapes much of the narrative's moral core. This divine edict came not only as a response to Zabad's betrayal of the sacred covenant, but also as a testament to the unforeseen consequences of defying spiritual and moral laws. In the scriptures, the divine reaction is often portrayed as swift and inexorable, serving as a reminder of the higher order that governs human actions. Zabad's story thus becomes a cautionary tale, illustrating that even those in positions of great power are not immune to the repercussions of their actions when they stray from the righteous path. This moral lesson transcends time, urging humankind towards introspection and adherence to ethical principles. As scholars reflect on this divine decree, discussions often emerge around its broader implications, how justice, mercy, and human agency are intricately woven into the fabric of religious teachings. King Zabad's demise is one of infamy, seared into the annals of ancient scripture, just for its brutality, but also for the betrayal that orchestrated it. Zabad's trusted allies, once loyal to his reign, orchestrated his end in a manner that was both shocking and symbolic of divine retribution. The events unfolded with chilling precision. Zabad was cornered within the confines of his own palace. His sanctuary turned into a stage of his grim downfall. His confidants, men he'd considered loyal, turned conspirators under the weight of political unrest and divine prophecy. The act itself was swift, yet it resonated with a profound sense of inevitability. Scholars have long interpreted this betrayal as a manifestation of divine justice, a direct consequence of Zabad's earlier transgressions. The gruesome nature of his death served as a literal and metaphoric lesson, echoing through history as a dire warning about the perils of defying sacred covenants and the fragile nature of power when built on betrayal. The death of King Zabad is one that stands out due to its merciless brutality and deep layers of interpretation. On a literal level, his demise was a direct result of betrayal by those he once called allies, an often harsh reminder of the treachery that can lurk in the shadows of power. However, beyond the gory details, many scholars interpret his death as a grand allegory for the inevitable downfall that follows hubris and moral corruption. Metaphorically, Zabad's gruesome fate underscores the ancient moral teachings about the price of betrayal and the moral decay of straying from divine paths. His death is seen as a sermon in itself, a profound symbol of the chaos that ensues when divine mandates are defied. Some theologians argue that the narrative suggests a broader commentary on the fragility of human constructs and ambitions when they clash with divine justice. In exploring these interpretations, one is left to ponder whether Zabad's story serves as a historical caution or a metaphysical reflection on the eternal human struggle between righteousness and corruption. King Zabad's death is notably chronicled in various ancient texts, where it continuously serves as a compelling narrative with diverse interpretations. In the scriptures, his demise was depicted with intense vividness and symbolic weight, signifying more than a mere physical end. Some religious manuscripts describe how the betrayal by those closest to him was not just a personal failure, but a reflection of his faltering reign, a symbol of the disintegration of his once powerful rule. This account resonates deeply within the faith community, highlighting the ultimate cost of moral transgressions and the frailty of human power in the face of divine justice throughout history. Theologians and scholars have debated the precise nature of Zabad's downfall, suggesting that it serves a dual purpose: a literal warning to rulers who stray from their path, and a metaphoric lesson on personal integrity and spiritual vigilance. His story persists as a historical echo in religious teachings, challenging believers to contemplate the balance between earthly ambition and spiritual rectitude. The narrative has been analyzed extensively for its broader implications on leadership and ethical governance, reinforcing the timeless message that betrayal of divine laws inevitably leads to profound consequences. This enduring legacy solidifies King Zabad's story as a pivotal moral study, immortalized within sacred texts and the collective memory of history. Scene 6, 4 Fat. In the wake of King Zabad's untimely death, the kingdom of Maresha was thrown into a state of disarray. His demise, being so sudden and grisly, sent shockwaves through the political landscape, destabilizing the once firm governance he had established. Noble houses that had flourished under his rule were now entrenched in power struggles, each vying for dominance in a rapidly fracturing hierarchy. The security that had characterized Zabad's reign dissipated, leaving a power vacuum that various factions sought to fill. Simultaneously, the common people, who had been spectators to his wrongful acts and eventual downfall, found themselves questioning the laws and morals that once governed their lives. This atmosphere of unease and confusion was further exacerbated by a sudden decline in trade and economic stability, as neighboring states perceived the chaos in Maresha as a strategic opportunity. Moreover, religious leaders seized this moment as a divine warning, urging the populace to return to spiritual devotion and upright living to avoid a similar fate. The kingdom stood at a crossroads, where every decision carried the potential to either heal or further damage its fractured society. Ultimately, Zabad's legacy lingered as both a reminder of unchecked ambition and as a catalyst for a new era of governance in Maresha regime crafted from lessons of the past. This critical juncture in the kingdom's history marked a transitional phase, challenging its leaders and inhabitants to redefine their collective identity and forge a future built on the ashes of their former king's missteps. After Zabad's demise, his story became a potent cautionary tale, resonating through generations as an example of unchecked ambition and betrayal. Throughout history, religious teachers have pointed to his fate as a profound illustration of the perils of deviating from divine laws and the inevitable justice that follows. The narrative of King Zabad has been woven into sermons and teachings, serving as a somber reminder of the consequences of moral failure. Moreover, his life and death have sparked numerous theological discussions, fostering debates that echo in religious discourse even today. His story is cited as a testament to the intricate balance of power and responsibility, a message to rulers and leaders about the transient nature of authority when misused against ethical and spiritual guidelines. In communities, the tale of Zabad's downfall often illustrates the timeless battle between personal desires and communal welfare, urging adherence to principles for the greater good. In literature and religious studies, Zabad stands as an emblem of warnings against hubris and deceit, reminding individuals and leaders alike of the critical importance of integrity and transparency. This legacy endures, teaching contemporaries to navigate their roles with humility and foresight, knowing that history watches and justice prevails, even if delayed. The echoes of Zabad's story challenge us not only to interpret events from the past, but also to reflect deeply on our current paths, ensuring that lessons learned are not forgotten. In delving into theological interpretations of King Zabad's story, we find a tapestry of spiritual insights woven by scholars and religious thinkers over the centuries. Zabad's narrative serves as a profound illustration of how divine justice is perceived within the context of sacred texts. Many theologians view his life as a stark warning about the perils of hubris and the breach of moral principles. His betrayal of a sacred covenant is emblematic of humankind's perpetual struggle with sin, emphasizing the importance of aligning earthly ambitions with divine will. Some interpretations suggest that Zabad's downfall was not merely a punishment, but a divine intervention to recalibrate moral order in his kingdom. Others contend it reflects the broader cosmic justice evident in many ancient scriptures. Furthermore, Zabad's story raises crucial questions about the nature of free will versus predestination. Did Zabad chart his doom through his choices, or was it an inevitable outcome foreseen by higher powers? These discussions underscore the complexity of interpreting sacred narratives and their multi-layered moral teachings that continue to resonate in modern theological discourse. The story of King Zabad invites a multitude of scholarly debates, particularly concerning the intricate relationship between divine justice and human free will. On one hand, some theologians argue that Zabad's demise was an inevitable consequence of divine justice, a predetermined endpoint orchestrated by a higher power as a means to uphold moral order. They suggest that his actions, from betrayal to sacrilege, triggered a divine response meant to serve as a corrective measure and a powerful lesson for future generations. Conversely, other scholars emphasize the element of human choice, suggesting that Zabad's fate was the result of his own decisions rather than divine intervention. These interpretations highlight the potential for redemption and the power of free will, arguing that Zabad's path could have diverged had he chosen differently. This debate reflects a broader tension within theological discussions, the degree to which human agency intertwines with divine plans. As these discussions unfold, they reveal a range of perspectives on accountability, morality, and the complexities of interpreting ancient texts. By scrutinizing these differing viewpoints, scholars and theologians continue to explore whether Zabad's story underscores an inherent moral order governed by divine justice, or whether it serves as a cautionary tale spotlighting the significance of human choices. This ongoing dialogue not only enriches our understanding of ancient scriptures, but also encourages a nuanced exploration of ethical and spiritual dilemmas relevant to contemporary society. As we draw the curtain on the tragic saga of King Zabad, we find ourselves lingering on themes both timeless and piercingly relevant. His rise and fall encapsulate a haunting narrative of ambition unchecked and the inevitable justice that follows betrayal. Zabad's story serves as a potent reminder of the complex interplay between power and morality, urging us to consider the ethical dimensions of leadership. In reflecting upon his life, we encounter a pivotal lesson where personal ambition breaches the bounds of integrity. Calamity is often the result. The account of Zabad implores viewers to question and reflect on how similar themes of ambition and justice manifest in our modern world. As we ponder his tale, we are invited to engage in a broader dialogue about the responsibilities of power and the repercussions of our choices. Let this narrative not only echo through the corridors of history, but also resonate within our hearts today, prompting an introspective examination of our own values and actions.